All right, hello everyone. So today is the 4th, so let's take a look at what we've got here on the 4th. Now, yesterday, this is gold. I warned you about this one. I said we'd get to targets, and let's take a look, right? That's the 3rd of May. Okay, I said there will be pushing moves and May whipsaw. Expect surprises by then. Market should go to a price target by midnight. Okay, so I warned you about these pushing moves yesterday and that we might get a whipsaw. And this is, you see there's a whipsaw there and a whipsaw there. All right, so market went up, comes down, boom, up, goes to that target. Remember, I talked about 2071 because I said, guys, we've got that 2071 there somewhere, that 8HCL1, 2082 to be exact. There. 2082 is there. All right, so pretty much on the dot there. And that was on the weekly, right? And we had 72 here as well. 2061. And that was the daily there. 2061 was this one here. Pretty much there. Okay. So as you can see, the market was like pretty hectic yesterday. But, you know, there you go. Okay, so PST levels again. I said it might do a surprise. And remember, I said the high that it did, it might do a sweep. All right, take them out and then pull down. And this is pretty much what happened. You see how it made a sweep and then fell down. So that's not bad. Okay, and knowing all of this before it happens, you see this is the midnight bar, and that's midnight. So it's like closing. Okay, so 1 o'clock there. This is actually 11:45, but gold was closed. Okay, so the next immediately when it opened, it skyrocketed to that level. Okay, so that's fine. What to expect with gold now? Well, what to expect with gold now? Oh, and also yesterday I said, remember, on this one, on the daily, right? I said it broke out. So if it comes back to do a goodbye kiss, yeah, that was the time to kind of like go back up. And as you can see, that was the 2004 zone there, which is 2004, 2007 is what I marked in yesterday. Okay, so basically, Astro hours, we had the breakout, the whipsaw here, and the market just going to that target. Now, crazy, okay, which is pretty much there. And that's 1, 2, 3 once again. Okay, so remember we had the 1, 2, 3 tap here, and now got a 1, 2, 3 tap there, and look at that fall. So what do we want to see here? It would be nice to see the market push up, and then we could sell off. Okay, because now it needs to come back a little bit, and that's it. We should come back at least into the high of yesterday, which is 2019, so call that 2020. Let's do that 2020. Okay, I'm going to get rid of all of this. Let's get rid of them. Let's get rid of that. That's on the daily. Okay, all the way back down here is too far down. It's 56, but I'm going to put it down, which is 2014. So 2020 to 2014 is there. Okay, which is pretty much there. Okay, so this zone is now it's now going to be our zone. Okay, which is logical, which is that here. okay? And that's basically it. So we should pop down into here. If it goes up first, we can sell first. If it comes down first, we can buy, okay? And then on the weekly, yeah, on the weekly, don't stand in front of it too much. Okay, this is sellable, but I'd go for it in the New York session here. If you're going to sell it, you want to do it around this zone in the US session. Okay. What about this here? Let's take a look. Yeah, this is also worth selling at this zone. So if the market comes up as well, these zones are okay. Okay. Cause, yeah, in that zone. Okay, so it might be boom, boom. It might be boom, boom, sideways, up, down. Okay, but if it goes down first, then we can think about buying to go up and then selling off in the evening. Okay. Once again, this 330 is going to be interesting. I like this 330. 330 to 430 is going to be here. This is nice to look out for. Okay, and that's that. Let me just make sure. Yeah, that's the 330. That's the 615. I wouldn't worry about the 615 too much. I wouldn't worry about the 7 too much. This here should be it. Okay, so this is going to be like, make that 30 because it's actually 40. Okay, is there? Okay, so those are the ones you can take into consideration. Euro dollar, let's take a look. Once again, I said if we come up into this zone, we want to be sellers, okay? And things are going to happen either here or there. We marked in the prices, you can see there again. Once again, you see a bit of a choppy market move here. You see the whipsaw here, and then market going into the closure. That's your midnight there. And yesterday, that was an astro hour, breaking above the weekly, taking support from the weekly. This was tricky. Okay, if it was a bit more low, it would have been like, okay, to go long here, okay, to push up. But this was tricky yesterday, as you can see. To be honest, with all the whipsaw planetary aspects, I said, no, just leave this alone. Okay. So with the euro dollar as well, if we go up, we could do that. You could do it at the, like I said, in the session and also the evening session. Okay. Those are looking like the better hours to do so. Okay. The 330 is going to be like a surprise move, 330 to 430. So this is like New York opening, 330, 430 here. So you can still mark this in. This could be like a surprise up move, another whipsaw move here, 330, 430. And that could be it. And that's it basically. Okay. So once again, on the euro dollar, in this zone, I think in my opinion, this is still a sell zone. So like I said this week, buy the lows and sell the highs. And how do we know the lows and highs? Well, we're looking at it with the PST levels and everything. So this is why I had these levels here. The weekly pivot, you already know. If you break out and then come back to a weekly pivot, you go up to the target. That's how we traded off. It didn't come back to an astro hour. This was an astro hour, okay, but tricky, okay. I would have preferred it if we came back down a little bit more, at least into, well, you could say it came here, because that was a demand bar. Okay, so, well, it did come there. Okay. So today what we can expect is the market starts saying we should come back to the opening, the daily. Okay. If it's going to bounce around, it's going to bounce around here. If it breaks down, we should come into this zone, and then you got these targets happening here. So you can just extend these from yesterday. These are where the targets are going to be, and that's how you're going to manage your trade going forward. Okay, and that's all good. US 30. Now that was nice because look, this is where the whipsaw action ended, you see, on this bar here. So this was a good one to trade because that's your 845. Okay, weekly, and then you see how the push comes down all the way into midnight, and that was a price target I gave you. Okay, so it went to the price target nice and easy. Okay, so that was good, and this zone we were expecting, so you should have had a heads up for that one. And as you can see, down, so we were expecting the market to sell off, and that's exactly how it kind of happened with that weekly level. Now what to do? There's still room to come down here, as you can see. Okay, the market should come down into this zone. We are right on a PST here. On the weekly, we've got room to come down. Wow, look at this, it's a bit trickier. Okay, not easy, but you see, knowing the hour and the price together just makes life easy, because if you're going to trade, you understand this is, this is it. So there you go. A good buy kiss is going to be there. So 33,637, 33,637 is your good buy kiss there. 637. Okay, so this is going to be your zone there, and this is where the breakdown happened and the market closed lower. This is one level, okay, and this is another level here. It's this one there. Your last manipulation is there. Okay, I'd still put this like that. Okay, and with the PST included. Okay, so the market, if it goes back up here, these are levels you want to be selling at to push down. Okay, now that is a daily PST, so no selling around here. You can only sell up there. The one lower than that is this HCL1 level 32,973. 32,973. All right, so this is why, guys, having precise pricing is really important, as you can see in our business. Okay, so pushing up in order to push down is like an option here as well. Don't forget these, because yeah, not a lot of gapping. Still keep it in mind because of a gap there, but as soon as we were like in this zone, okay, the weekly pivot, this PST zone, this is going to be a sell zone here, okay, here and also in the evening there. If at the Astro hours we go higher, it doesn't matter, you're still looking to sell. Okay, so if, for example, we went a little higher, you can still sell it off. Okay, as long as you're in the Astro hours, you can sell in this zone. You can sell in the above zone. Let me just push this down here. Let's bring this back here. Okay, so as long as you're in a zone where you can sell at an Astro hour, you could do that, and you can also go to a smaller time frame, confirm with a U-turn, or confirm with the demand supply on a 1 minute, 5 minute, and then follow it in the direction it's going. At these zones are legitimate sell levels, including the daily pivot, obviously, the weekly, and this PST zone here. Let's take a look at SP 500, NASDAQ, and Bitcoin. All right, so the SP 500. So we had the Astro hours here, went down, Astro hour here, went up. This is your whipsaw market chilling out at midnight. This is 11:45, and that is 1:50. Oops, that's 1 o'clock because 12 to 1 markets closed. Okay, so that's basically where we're at. So what to do? Let's take a look at the daily. All right, so we're right in that zone. We said we'd end up here, and that's fine. Okay, remember we drew this in. This should have lower moves. Okay, we should go up to sell again. Obviously, your first support is going to be 4,057. Hasn't touched it yet, but has been pretty close. 457. Let me get rid of this now. Let's see where we're at. If we go back up, okay, because you should go higher, okay, and take out the stops here probably, but your daily pivot and this zone is your sell zone, and this zone as well. Now look at that. I said we'd close in the gap. See how the gap closed in? Okay, nice and easy. Okay, so when you're expecting whipsaw in the market, you got to check these out, okay, which is what I teach when we're trading technical analysis and we're like doing live analysis in the market. I always remind people about that. And you got astrology and your astro aspects are saying, hey, you know, I'm going to whipsaw everybody out. Then you're thinking, okay, so what's the idea? So these are the levels you got to check. Market, once it filled in the gap, bang, down right into there. Now, this was hard to trade, obviously. Okay, the only thing you could have really done here was if it broke the low of this. Okay, if it breaks the low, you know, that was the swing. So it broke the low of that, closed below it, and then selling it off. Or alternatively, if you got that, that would have been okay. This was also okay, but it didn't reach that high. So once it did the push, you see it just followed all the way down there. Now this is the daily pivot. Obviously, daily pivot is important. And today's first aspect is actually 8 o'clock, but since I'm doing this at 10 o'clock right now, okay, 10 a.m. my time, then, you know, you're not really going to catch that. So put your astro hours here. If the market goes back up, let me get rid of that so we don't have confusion. If the market comes back up to the daily or into the weekly, this zone here, okay, then this is also going to be for you a level which you want to be trading off of. Okay, so that purple zone there. All right, and that's the last manipulation bar there. Okay, so if you do so, if the market does come up here, I think it's good to sell, in my opinion, anyway. But just confirm it with a U-turn because the stop is going to be too high. You're going to have to put the stop somewhere. You know, I don't think it's going to fly out there again because it's already filled in the gap, but still, just be mindful because of these. NASDAQ, right on, guys. This is exactly where we wanted it to be, as you can see, right there. Whoops. Okay, so that was the bar there. All right, as you can see. Okay, the manipulation was here, but that was the high that it went up to. So that's why I've marked that in. In fact, this was the whole zone here because of the gap here as well. You see how the market filled in the gap too. So once again, Astro Hour market shoots up and then just terrorizes everyone and comes down. So definitely a day to be careful about. Now this is good. It's breaking below the weekly. Okay, so now let me just get rid of this somehow. Okay, here we are. And that was the targets there, as you can see. We've got a target down there. So let's take a look at the daily. Okay, beautiful push down. So we just wanted, if it goes up, guys, we're looking for sell opportunities. Again, like I said all week, you know, yesterday I think there was news out. I don't check the news anymore. As you can see, I didn't even know there was a news coming out, to be honest with you, because I'm looking at the astrology. But from what I saw in the sky yesterday, I said to myself, some shit's gonna hit the fan, obviously here, because of these bad boy aspects. And that was like, as you can see, whopper. So looking to sell again to flow down. Now your targets are going to be on the daily. Let's check them out. So we've got some price targets down here, these two. So we've got 38.35, 12.775, 684. So 12.775, 684. Okay, these are the levels. I'm now going to get rid of this so we don't get confused. On the weekly, we also want to check. Remember, the weekly is going to be strong. 54, 12, 7, 19, 6, 9. 7, 19, 12, 7, 19. 12, 7, 19, and 690. 12, 7, 19 is there. So we should head down into this zone, guys. All right, so we've got room to come down. And, you know, any move up in the astro hours in the US session, like I said, the US session is going to be more appropriate to do that. I think it's good to sell, to be honest. And that's basically it. Yeah, selling the highs is like what I've been saying all along. And that's it basically. Yeah, that's it, guys. That's it. Bitcoin. Now that was a zone we marked in, remember, all the way from there. Remember I said that's your manipulation. And this is the zone where the market tipped off. And why is that so high? It should be like this. Just bear with me. It should have taken in this zone there. Okay, let's get rid of these so we don't get confused, and that's it there. So once again, this zone is, I think, a good sell zone. It's nicely marked in. You could also go for this one. You could also go for that tomorrow. If the market mucks around sideways, then hits that 80 AM level tomorrow, you can also sell it off there. For the benefit of the argument, 29,719. Let's mark it in there, 29,719, because you want to keep that in mind when you got PST levels. On the weekly, yeah, on the weekly, that target is still looking at us, which we marked in before, so your targets should be still in that 27 zone. On the daily, that 41, 27,618, 27, 618. Okay, so we should come back into somewhere there. Okay, so selling the highs is what we did. This should come down. Okay.